damn, that hit. That hit hard. I mean, the way they handled that entire slave interaction, connecting back to Rudy's own wanting to die and understanding where someone like that could come from, that hit hard, and honestly, probably hit harder than Rudy is anytime he thinks of Fitz. I'm going to hell. I know that. I've accepted that long ago. Like, this episode legit had amazing mature subject matter, but on the flip side, you can't deny that Rudy is going to fix his limp dick syndrome because he thinks he's attracted to femboys. If I had a nickel every time Rudy mistaken old Sophie for a man and questioned his sexual desires, may only have a couple nickels, but damn, it's interesting that happened a couple of times. I have a full live reaction to today's wonderful Mushoku Tensei episode available on my Patreon if you would like to see my full uncut thoughts as we watch today's episode. It is over there if you're interested. Now, like I said, there's kind of two sections to this episode. The first of which is clearly Rudy questioning his desires because from his point of view, he just has this cute femboy that's making him feel a little something something, and obviously for someone who thinks his downstairs is a little broken, that's got to be a little worrisome, thinking that he only swings for one side, but now he's questioning, oh man, maybe I don't actually. But then on the flip side, you have the purchasing of a slave, and they really handled it maturely, I have to admit. Even before they went the route of letting Rudy connect on that almost suicidal level, the fact that, you know, building into it, yeah, there's a couple of, like, funny moments where, like, Sophie's taking an eye at the muscular and just hanging dongs being like, wow, I didn't know they got so big. And I'm like, god damn. And just the fact that she was trying to be like, hey, have you ever slept with someone before getting cut off? The reason they end up deciding to purchase a slave is because we have our boy trying to make the sculptures that just don't work, and when he tries to carve by hand, still just doesn't work. And this is a world where that is legal. And the difference between obviously a character like Rudy and your average slave owner is that Rudy isn't out here trying to beat them and whip them and be shitty people. He literally just like, when in Rome, do what the Romans do, but I'm not going to be a piece of shit about it. And the fact that as he's walking through seeing all the cages, he doesn't look happy. He's not like, ooh, which one am I gonna pick? It's like going to the, no, it's like these are people, right? He doesn't feel good about it, but, you know, at the very least, one person is gonna have a better life than what obviously is gonna happen. He can't just go around breaking the cycle, right? It ain't gonna change overnight. And when it comes to Juliet, Julie's probably gonna be the short term based on how she was talking at the end there. It's really interesting because just immediately you get the sense like the pit in your stomach is just twisting. It just feels so dread-filled. It's just, she gets dragged out and just immediately Sophie comes in, heals a little bit, just treats her. And the fact that, you know, we get the other language, which we haven't heard in a hot minute, and just the way he talks, like almost immediately if you look in the background, we don't really focus too much on them, but you can see that they're just looking at each other being like, what has Rudy been through? Why can he connect with someone who is that close to death? And the fact that Rudy legit was like, you can't just force someone like this. You can't drag them kicking and screaming saying it will get better. They themselves have to choose if they want to continue. That's, I mean, Rudy's been there. Rudy's been at the absolute lowest. And while maybe he hasn't suffered in the same way someone sold into slavery will, he understands what it's like to give up on life. And the fact that he's like, if you want to die, I'll kill you here. Like, what do you want? He's not forcing, he's basically saying, like, if you show me that you want to live and you want to try, I can give you a better life. And the fact that the first thing we see, I think it's just die, and I'm like, oh no. I really thought we were going the route of killing her. I really thought that. I thought it just wasn't going to work out and we are going to have this heavy moment, but the fact that I don't want to just die, like, even though it's not like I want to live or, you know, I'm ready to chase tomorrow, it's enough to say she isn't too far gone. And we get the moments where she gets to have a good meal. We get to give her a name, because apparently dwarves don't get them until her 7th birthday, and she's 6. They explain pretty smartly on why we need a kid, because ultimately when you think about it, right, children, when they first start learning, whether it's language or anything, they have a lot more easy of a time learning multiple things or new things than if they've already grown accustomed. Like when I was younger, like when I was very young, before I was even in elementary, like my preschool or whatever, I was switching French words with English words because I was kind of simultaneously learning them both at the same time. And then because my actual school didn't really teach me properly, I was a dumbass and never actually properly learned French, but I was switching in conversation because kids can adapt and learn so quickly. So the idea of someone with a high mana ability, or the ability that's young so they can learn and basically learn what they need her to, while also giving her a proper life, is really nice, because it just feels like a kid being raised properly now. Like, maybe you can make the argument we got a couple of degenerates, one's praised the panties and the other is rubbing himself up against nude sculptures, but from what we've seen, it's definitely a lot better than the cage she was living in, and it was very heavy, mature subject matter. However, the first half, you know, it's sweet, it's innocent, but it's also hilarious. Legit, Rudy has no idea that that's Sylphie, and the fact that he is so confused, and it's not like he's just constantly flustered and like red in the face, it's like there's certain moments like grabbing of the hands being like, wait a second, no, I don't swing that way, that's not right, I'm probably just confused. It's been a hot minute since he's been able to bust a nut, so as far as he knows, he's just confused because it's been a while. But I think it's very clear. I mean, I was saying it before he entered the school, that Sylphie would be the reason that he would fix his issue, because his biggest issue was that he wasn't connecting on an emotional level, and the just pure physical wasn't working for him after having his heart broken. Someone like Sylphie, or in this case, the person he's building up with without realizing it is, Fitz, is clearly going to be that one that gets him over the hump, and along the way, there's going to be some funny moments because he doesn't realize that it's not just him simply swinging for the other team, it's that he just really loves Sylphie, and no matter what Sylphie looks like, she gets through to him, sort of a thing. And it's really cute, it's really funny, it's honestly hilarious, but they're doing a good job with that character dynamic, and the school setting is doing really well. I really like what they're doing. I like the fact that he has these remarks at the beginning of the episode about how, like, yeah, Roxy taught him a lot of things, but, you know, starting over from scratch at this school with all of the basic classes, yeah, he'll be ahead of a lot of the class because he knows a lot of this, but there's things that either he didn't pick up on or forgot, and he'll be able to learn a lot more, so he's utilizing this school to its full potential, which is very smart of him. I'm still a little torn on the opening. I think the opening is fantastic, don't get it twisted. It's just, I do wish we would go back to what we have been doing, which is kind of like the background shot showing these establishing moments that continue the narrative, because even though, yeah, we had a good, like, 28 episodes before we got a proper opening, and the opening is fantastic, I just think Mushoku Tensei just did it really well with how it utilized extra scenes as the opening song played, but that's just me. You can let me know. Do you prefer having the opening or not? You can let me know down below. Question of the week sort of a thing. I'm torn on it. I like it, but it's just, I think it was better with what we had before, but it doesn't mean I hate it by any means. But overall, I mean, we're eating good as both Isekai fans and Mushoku Tensei fans. It is a very good episode. I'm liking what they're doing. I could focus on this school setting for many more episodes to come, and I wouldn't be losing sleep. I don't find this boring like some people have mentioned, and I'm having a blast watching, but I'll let know what everyone thought, because really it's two types of episodes all in one. Comfy, funny, wholesome character bonding, and then heavy subject matter about giving someone a second chance, and the fact that we relate that back to how suicidal and just depressed Rudy was. That's the only reason that this moment could happen the way it did and give a kid really a second chance at life. So thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course ring that bell. As I mentioned, we also have that full live reaction available on my Patreon if that's more your thing, and hey, while you're there you also get a video shout out. So today we have Furno19Z, FZCL, More Rudd, Snake Eater 7, So Logiki, and Wade Smith. So I appreciate the support everyone, please take care and have a good one.